Birth can feel overwhelming and scary, especially with all of the unknowns, but fear does not have to control your experience. In today's episode, I'm going to share powerful tools to help you shift from fear to confidence so you can step into birth feeling prepared, empowered, and in tune with your body. My name is Caitlin Stowe, and I am a certified childbirth educator as well as a birth doula in the Santa Cruz area, and I've seen firsthand how mindset plays a huge role in shaping your birth experience, and I want you to feel fully equipped to embrace birth with trust instead of fear. Many moms feel anxious about birth, whether it's fear of pain, complications, or just the unknown. Maybe you've heard horror stories from other people, which I don't even know why people share their horror stories with pregnant moms, but for some reason they do. Or maybe you're worried about not being able to handle contractions or just not able to handle labor in general. The truth is, fear can actually work against your body during birth, making labor feel harder and more painful than it really needs to be. But here's the key. Instead of running from fear, you need to be able to approach it with curiosity. Fear is often a sign that there is something that we need to explore or understand better. So when you can lean into your fears instead of pushing them away, you are able to gain knowledge, awareness, and ultimately confidence to face those fears. Okay, so like I was saying, the first step is to get curious about your fears. Okay, so if you're just thinking, I am scared of birth, that is way too vague. If you are having a home birth and you're saying, I'm scared of transferring to the hospital, that's also way too vague. You need to get specific. What about that hospital transfer are you scared of? Is it ambulances? Is it the hospital itself? Is it a cascade of interventions? Or again, you're just scared of birth in general? Is it a fear of pain? A lack of knowledge, a past experience? The more specific that you get, the easier it's going to be to work through it. So when you're able to actually research these specific fears and work through them, it becomes so much easier to address them and ultimately start to become less afraid of these fears. So again, for example, if you are afraid of tearing, which a lot of moms that I work with are, I actually encourage my moms to research tears. Research the different degrees. If you feel comfortable, like look up photos of the tears so that way you really know what you're working with. And then from there, research ways to prevent that from happening. What are ways that we can hopefully stop the tear from happening? We can focus on not coached pushing or holding your breath. You can give birth in water. You can avoid perineal massages. You can not push on your back. There's so many things in that we can do to start to address these. So again, the more specific that you can be about your fear, educate yourself on it, and then start to learn about ways you can prevent it. Having knowledge is so empowering, and when you're able to make informed choices about your fears and about your birth in general, you start to be able to really lean into your confidence and the knowledge that you have instead of just letting fear overtake your mind. And the second point is going a little bit more into the education side, and that is to reframe your fear with knowledge and then positive conditioning. So if you are fearing the pain of contractions, you can learn about how they actually work, how they help your baby move down the birth canal, and how your body's ultimately designed to handle them. We can replace fear-based stories with empowering birth stories and affirmations. Read about all the empowering birth stories. When I was pregnant, I was approached by strangers, friends, people I knew, basically almost everyone around me just telling me their horror stories when it came to birth. And honestly, I think people want to feel connected when it comes to birth, and pregnancy is a bit of a trigger for some people, as you probably have learned. So it is so important to set boundaries, and you can politely say you don't want to hear these stories. But you can start reading all kinds of positive birth stories. You can read about home births, you can read about hospital births, you can read about inductions, you can read about C-sections, you can read about any kind of birth, and it really does start to reframe your mind and your way of thinking when it comes to birth. So honestly, you really need to be mindful of what you're consuming, what thoughts you're having when it comes to birth, because it can just create a lot of anxiety. So again, be mindful about what you're allowing into your mind, including social media. I also had to delete TikTok when I was pregnant because all that was happening was fear-based stories, and it was way too much for me. So just be conscious about what you're allowing into your mind, because Either consciously or subconsciously, those things can really start to leak into your mindset and even your birth. So make sure to choose books, videos, and podcasts that really support your confident and empowering mindset. Learning about physiologic birth is a huge point here that I always recommend moms to do. Third thing you can do is use the mind-body connection to your advantage. Your thoughts directly impact your physical response. When you're afraid, your body tenses up, making contractions then feel more painful. But when you relax and use your tools like breathing, visualization, and affirmations, your body actually starts to work with the process instead of against it. And I really stress this for moms to really have your techniques and your mindset set. You don't want to ignore the power of relaxation techniques. Even if you're thinking, I'll just deal with it when I'm in labor, most likely you won't. Even when you're practicing these techniques ahead of time, sometimes it will all go out the window. So you want to be doing things and practicing enough that your body just intuitively starts to lean into these techniques that you've been doing. Fourth thing you can do is to surround yourself with positive people. The people around you can either fuel fear or they can build confidence for you. Choose a good and supportive birth team, whether it's your partner, a doula, midwife, or OB, that supports your choices and helps make you feel safe. You are in charge of who you allow into your birth space. You don't need to have unsupportive people around you. If someone is making you feel anxious or doesn't respect your birth choices, they do not need to be present at your birth. Protect your peace at all costs. And my last tip is to create a birth plan that encompasses all your knowledge for every situation so that way you can build confidence. A birth plan isn't about controlling every detail, but instead it's about understanding your options and making informed choices. When you know your preferences and you feel educated about all different scenarios, you naturally feel more in control. That means research what you would want. So if you're not planning for a C-section, research all about C-sections and what you want to do if you end up having one. Research how to advocate for yourself against it and have a team that will advocate for you. Put on your birth plan. You can get literally as specific as you want in every single scenario. Put on your birth plan all your preferences, and again, make sure you have support people who, one, know your preferences, and two, have no problem standing up for them. And I know that it's common sometimes to think that birth plans are pointless because birth is unpredictable. Yes, birth is beautifully unpredictable, but being prepared can seriously make all the difference in your birth. Making informed decisions and again, just having education can make you so much more confident for whatever your birth entails. Okay, so my takeaways for you from this video is to identify and write down your fears, but don't stop there. Instead of avoiding them, remember to explore them with curiosity. What do they tell you? Why are you having those fears? And what can you learn about them? Then you want to flood your mind with positivity. Choose books, podcasts, and YouTube videos that reinforce your confidence, not fear. And again, don't be afraid to set boundaries. Practice your relaxation techniques daily. Multiple times a day actually would be great. Try breath work, guided meditations, or visualization exercises to really train your body to stay calm. And then you need to create a supportive birth environment. So again, be intentional and be mindful about who is in your birth space and how they are supporting you. Honestly, take a comprehensive birth education course. The more you understand your options and how birth works, the more confident that you will be. My physiologic birth course, Blooming Confidence, is linked below this video. It has 12 modules on literally everything that I know as a childbirth educator, a doula, and everything I wish I knew as a first-time mom going into labor. I also have pain coping sessions to go over every single way that you can be working on having a positive mindset and relaxation techniques during these sessions. It goes over your mindset, it goes over fear, literally everything that you can think of to make sure that you are 100% prepared for your birth and your postpartum, to make sure that you can approach that with confidence and knowledge no matter what way your birth unfolds. Make sure to like this video, send it to moms who think would benefit from it, and don't forget to subscribe. I will catch you in the next one. Bye!